But here's the thing that's interesting. In 2017 and in 2020, during those bull markets, we saw multiple drawdowns of over 30% in the Bitcoin price, even though the price went up hundreds of percent throughout the entire bull market. So it'd run up, it'd draw down 30% or more. Run up, draw down 30% or more. In 2020, people forget, 2021, we actually got the mining ban and we drew down more than 50% in May of 2021. And so you say to yourself, hold on, every time the price of Bitcoin is going down now in 2025, there's a really strong bid. Draws down 5%, there's buyers there. They're showing up and they're saying, you're going to give me discounted Bitcoin? I want that. And so what we're seeing is much more muted downside volatility because there are so many buyers in the market. And so could the market go down significantly, 15, 20, 30%? Sure. Is it likely? Probably not. And I think that's probably the thing that I'm paying attention to the most is not so much is the price going up or, oh no, it's crashing, whatever. It's what is the severity of these market drawdowns. And what we're seeing is that they're very muted compared to historical trends, which tells me that there's a very strong bid for Bitcoin, which is exciting to see.
All right. So one of those buyers is Michael Saylor. Obviously, he bought another 10,000 plus Bitcoin for over $1 billion with the average price of this purchase being at around 105,000. What are your thoughts? Is he just, he's already doubled down so much, you just continue to, feed the beast that he's been doing? Or like, where does he go from here? And do you see his buying kind of slowing down over the next, 12, 24 months?
Well, if you are dollar cost averaging into any asset, whether you're dollar cost averaging into the S&P 500 index, whether you're doing it into Bitcoin or you're doing it into your favorite stock, you don't look at the price. You are just trying to buy every single week, month, year, whatever your kind of frequency is. Michael Saylor seems to buy every week. And so every Monday morning, he announces what did he buy. And some of the purchases have been smaller compared to his past purchases, and some of them have been larger. He doesn't care what the price is. He's simply just acquiring Bitcoin, and whatever money he can make each week, he then takes it and he converts it to Bitcoin. Does that over and over and over again. I think he now has something like 470,000 Bitcoin on his balance sheet. So if he buys 10,000 Bitcoin for the next couple of weeks, he's going to be at 500,000 Bitcoin, right? But rather than try to say, hey, how the heck am I going to get to 500,000? Just whatever I can buy this week, I buy, and keep doing that. And that's the beauty of dollar cost averaging is you don't care if the price is high or low. You simply just continue to, acquire the asset. The other thing that I would say, which I think is really important, is that he also is creating new ways for him to raise capital. So he is now coming out with these preferred equity issues that he's going to be able to do. He's going to be able to sell those at the market. On top of that, we're seeing a lot of accounting changes happen. They're going to work in his favor. SAB 121 means that people are going to be able to put Bitcoin in the bank. There's a lot of stuff happening in the market right now. So all the fear from the stock market, those people have lost their minds. They couldn't even tell you. This is my favorite part. There are people in the market today selling stock in some sort of AI-related company, and they can't even explain to you AI. You shouldn't have bought the stock probably. All you're doing was momentum investing. But then why are you selling? I read somewhere something, sell, right? So if you say to yourself, hold on a second here, what you have is you have retail investors who don't actually even know what they own. If you don't understand the underlying technology, if you don't have a point of view as to why is this stock in particular good or bad, then of course you panic, right? And if it's going up, you panic buy. And if it's going down, you panic sell. So the timeless investing principles of know what you own, make sure you do the work, stay emotionally disciplined, all those things are being tested right now. And the beauty of a strategy of just dollar cost averaging into an asset, it's very simple. Think of it as a savings account. Hey, every week I put money in my savings account. Every week I put money in my savings account. I don't think about price. I don't think about just savings. You're just choosing with Bitcoin not to save in dollars. You're choosing to save in Bitcoin. And there's a lot of value to that.
Jack Mallers has famously said that he does not hold any cash. He buys everything with a credit card. And when his credit card bill comes due, he simply just sells the Bitcoin and pays off his credit card, right? He's like, why would I hold the devaluing fiat versus Bitcoin that obviously has more upside than the dollar?
Well, that is one way to live your life.
Interesting way for sure. All right, let's talk about Trump and his tariffs that he is putting out there on what seems to be every country in the world. The latest, I would call victim of his tariff is Colombia. He's going to put a 25% tariff on Colombia and says it's going to be raised 50% next week on any goods imported into the U.S.
Well, hold on a second. This is an important detail here. We got to remember that the United States of America is the most powerful nation in the world. And when you have that position, you have two options. You can weaken yourself by running around the world and operating from a position of weakness, So naturally, people start to say you're weak and they put you in the weakness bucket. Or you operate from a position of strength and you use the fact that you are the most powerful nation in the world to your advantage to get your agenda done. Donald Trump, he's basically the bully in chief. And being a bully in these cases is a good thing. So what happened? The United States of America decided that we are going to deport people who broke the law and are here illegally. This is not a new idea. There are videos of Hillary Clinton and many Republicans and many Democrats all saying, if they broke the law, they got to go back. It's pretty simple. So take the politics out and say these are people who broke the law, get them back to the country. The United States put them on planes and sent them back to Colombia. Mm-hmm. And the president said, we ain't accepting the plane. Okay. Well, I talked to somebody from Colombia. You know what he told me? That guy's not very popular. That guy's got a bunch of nonsense going on in the country. And so he is not exactly the quote unquote leader of majority of the people because his approval rating is in the dumpster. So Trump hears about this. Trump was golfing, went to his little golf cart, got his phone. Okay, big dog. Typed out his little Truth Social message. Said, effective immediately, we are putting a 25% tariff. We're going to increase that to 50% in 1 week. We also are going to go after the diplomats. We are going to go after visas. We just basically like scorched earth. We're sending these people back to you and you're not going to accept them? Watch what we can do. Within 2 hours, the president of Colombia came out and said, not only will we accept those people, I'll send my personal presidential plane to pick up more of them if you would like. That is where dealing from a position of strength works. And so you may not like the mean tweets. You may not like the aggressive behavior. You may not like somebody running the country that is the bully in chief. But if you look at the A/B test that we ran over the last 8 years, it is definitely better for the United States to operate from a position of strength than a position of weakness. And so this is not that hard. We are deporting people who are breaking the law, who are sexually assaulting children, who are raping people, who are committing violent crimes. We don't want them in our society. Send them back to where they came. They are here illegally. On top of that, it's not that difficult. When somebody says, I'm not going to do something, do you have a position of strength and leverage or not? And in this case, Trump has immense leverage. So use it. Why are we going to be held hostage by the country of Colombia for their people who are here in our country illegally? Send them back. It's not that hard. And so I think that it's just a return to common sense. It's a return back to, if we want a safe and prosperous America, we are a country of immigrants. There are people who come to this country that are vetted, that are approved, and that are legal. Great. Let's get as many of those people as we can. But if you're coming here illegally, especially if you're committing crimes, your stay is probably not going to be that welcome or that long.
Do you see it as a negotiation tactic of what he's doing?
Of course. Every president in the world is scared of the United States putting 25, 50% tariffs on their country. These are like weapons of mass economic destruction. If you go to especially smaller countries, and you say, if you don't do what we want you to do, dealing with our country, right? We're not going and saying, hey, you got to do something in your country. We're saying that we're just simply trying to do something in our country and you're trying to prevent us from doing that. I think that the actual percentage of tariffs that are implemented is going to be very low. It's very much a threat, right? It's kind of like, if you are the person who has the monopoly on violence, you actually never want to have to fire the gun, right? Can you get, the mission successful by never having to firing the gun? And so there is this, there's this concept in the military. It's using surprise and violence of action. So for example, if you're going to go kick in the door of a house and you're trying to capture a high value target, the whole goal is to get onto the site without being detected, to swiftly kick the door in, and to immediately appear like you have hundreds of people and you swallow them immediately. You're in every room as fast and as safely as possible, And you are there with a moment of surprise and a violence of action. So when you kick that door in, what do? You move quickly. You're very well trained. You're loud. You want them to feel like, oh my God, there's 100 of them here.
Chaos.
Right? It's controlled chaos. And guess what? That violence of action and that surprise leads to success most times. The same idea is here. Think about what happened. We're not going to accept those people. Phone call to the president. Oh yeah. Violence of action, surprise, immediately throws the other negotiating party completely off of the position that they're on, to the point where they're like, I showed up with a garden hose. You showed up with a bomb.